Shoot.
My children and his service dog.
Okay.
My husband has a traumatic brain injury, so his ability to process information and respond effectively is impaired.
Come here.
Out.
You want to stop? You want to shut up? Then grab me.
Getting out.
On October 22nd, 2024, in Monroe County, Deputy Lane initiated a traffic stop on Nolan, a 38-year-old man towing a boat at 10 miles per hour in a 55 miles per hour zone, citing safety concerns. Florida Statute 316.1835 states, "No person shall drive a motor vehicle at such a slow speed as to impede or block the normal and reasonable movement of traffic." However, Nolan's slow speed was due to a trailer issue, a reasonable precaution to ensure safety, which the deputy failed to consider. The officer's immediate escalation to demanding Nolan exit the vehicle, despite no immediate threat, reflects an abuse of authority rooted in impatience. Nolan's brain injury, impairing his ability to respond quickly, was dismissed, prioritizing enforcement over empathy.
Hello, hi, I'm Deputy Lane with the Sheriff's Office.
How can I help?
So we got called to Sunshine Key about you, and then on the way up there, I saw you going 15 miles an hour. And
My hazards on, correct?
okay, that's not legal. You can't do that.
Can do what?
You can't drive that slow under the speed limit.
It's a safety hazard.
It's a safety hazard for you to be on the road driving that slow under the speed limit, correct? Do you have your driver's license on?
Department, sir. I need to get to this lane. Can we get it off of this? I work here.
Okay, fantastic. Good for you. I need your driver's license.
For what?
Okay. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Unlock the car and get out now.
Hey, calm down.
Get out of the car now.
Calm down. I am.
Come
Getting
here.
out.
You want to stop? You want to shut up? Then grab me.
Getting out. Oh, my truck. My truck.
Put the f***ing truck in the park.
Yes, I am.
Put it in the park now. Put it in the park now.
You do start with
Put it in the park now.
It is in park. I am
Left
getting
country
out.
code 4, 1 resistant.
I am not
Put it in the park. Get out of the f***ing car.
It is.
Turn around. Put your hands behind your back now.
I am. Please
Put your
don't
hands
break
behind
my
your.
truck.
Put your hands
They
behind.
are. Look
Stop
down.
pulling away from me. Stop
down.
pulling away from me. You're gonna get tased.
Down.
Stop pulling away from me. You're gonna get tased.
I am not.
Stop. Stop.
I am.
Stop pulling away from me. You're gonna get tased. It's in your
I
back
am
right
not
now.
Pulling.
Okay, stay right there.
This is a.
Okay, well, he needs to listen to what I tell him to
am
do.
listening. Did you see me? The glove box is even open. I was getting you it, and I was asking you politely. It says to do not stop on shoulders.
Okay.
Can you adjust my wrist, please?
Yep.
Please understand.
Left 23, code 5, 1 to 10.
Can this other one please adjust the other way? My wrist cannot spin in it.
Do you have anything on you that's going to stick me, poke me, hurt me?
Let me talk.
Your pocket knife? I'm good for now. If you can talk to her inside of the car.
Why is she being rude?
I'm not sure.
Why is she being rude too?
Because I'm a law enforcement officer and so is she,
And I'm
and I
a
have you in
fire.
handcuff right now.
Okay, but no need to be rude, is there?
Left 23, I got FWC with me as well. So in the state of Florida, when you're told to identify yourself on a traffic stop by law enforcement,
I did.
saying no when I say give me your driver's license is
I
not
did
complying.
not say no.
Okay.
Do you have this on recording, please?
Yes, it is on recording.
thank you.
Just like when I told you to step out of the car and you said no, I tried to open your door, you grabbed my hand and pushed me away. That's battery on law enforcement. That's
that
a felony.
is not exactly what I was doing.
You grabbed my hand, that's felony.
Oh my God, I was trying to put.
Hello, is there anyone else inside the car or just you?
My children and his service dog.
Okay.
My husband has a traumatic brain injury, so his ability to process information and respond effectively is impaired. I was going to try to see, I think his wallet is here in the boat. I was going to grab it. He has a brain injury card. I am his legal caregiver in addition to being his spouse. We are volunteering here at the park, and it just became stressful because he was.
What's your name?
I'm Katie Bates.
Katie.
or Catherine
So the
Bates.
problem though is that when I tell someone to give me their ID and they say no, that's refusal to identify.
Did he say no?
He said no.
I thought he was driving.
No, he was not. And then when I tell him to open the door and he says no, that's again refusing an order from, hold on, I'm talking. That's refusal to identify himself and refusal to exit the vehicle, which is an order from a law enforcement officer.
Right.
Furthermore, when I reach inside the car to unlock the door and he grabs my hand, that's felony battery on law enforcement. Fourth, when I do finally get the car door open and he pushes me away, that's battery on law enforcement. He cannot touch me. Okay? The brain injury, that sucks. I'm very sorry for you and your family. He cannot touch me. He cannot refuse orders that I give to him. This is a legal, lawful traffic stop. He's impeding the flow of traffic going 10 miles an hour on US 1. You cannot do that. He is correct. It is a safety hazard to do that. That's why I pulled him over. He can't do that. Okay?
I apologize. Like I said, his response and his ability to know what to say in stressful moments is impaired because of the brain injury. He literally has missing pieces of his brain. And so when giving orders or whatever, his responses are often off. Like even when I'm asking him to do something or reminding him to brush his teeth even or things like that, even if he's planning to do it, his words don't come out the correct way all the time. So I'm sure, being in your career path, you've dealt with
How old are the kids in the car?
7 or 4.
Okay. Can you go back in the car and make sure they're okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are you doing back here?
I was going to see if his wallet is in here.
Yeah,
Would you like me to grab his
Yes,
wallet?
please, if you could. Thank you.
His wallet is not in there, unfortunately, and I don't see it in the boat. Our camper is here if I need to go to the camper to get it.
So you don't know who he is yet?
No.
Do you have a social?
Yeah.
You know his social?
Yes. All right.
What is it?
It's
Deputy Lane's response escalated when Nolan, confused due to his traumatic brain injury, did not immediately comply with demands for his ID. Florida Statute 843.02 notes, "Whoever shall resist, obstruct, or oppose any officer, without offering or doing violence to the person of the officer, shall be guilty of a misdemeanor." Nolan's actions reaching for his glove box and briefly grabbing the officer's hand were not violent but instinctive, yet Lane threatened to tase him. This disproportionate reaction highlights a pattern of officers using excessive force to enforce compliance, especially against vulnerable individuals. Nolan's wife, Catherine, explained his condition, but Lane dismissed it, prioritizing arrest over de-escalation.
All right, I'm going to open the door for a second to talk to you, but I don't want you to try to get out or do anything, okay? Is that your wife?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Actually, look, I was not trying to be combative. I have a slow thinking.
She
and
explained that to me, okay?
all of a sudden, I realized I'm not in park, and I wasn't trying to resist you. I was trying to let you, but yet, and then when we finally got out, I promise you, I was not trying to resist. Like,
I understand why you got back in the truck. That was probably for the best since you have kids in the car.
thank
Okay.
you. I'm very I know I've worked in the fire my whole life, and I know exactly what y'all go through at that moment. I know exactly.
Okay.
When you see me trying to jump back in,
the main problem.
I want to thank you the highest for not pulling that trigger when I jumped back in. I know when the adrenaline starts pumping. Oh my gosh!
Copy.
Yes, my
Okay.
adrenaline was pumping too.
So the main problem that I have though is you grab my hand and you push my arms away. You cannot do that to
I
police.
didn't mean to push you away. I was trying to assure you that here you have my hand, but let me reach with the other hand and. But I can't think of how to say it. My adrenaline was pumping, and I'm just like, here's one, but let me.
Okay.
I swear to you, I've worked. I want to join y'all so bad. I swear to you, on God's hand, I put God all over my life ever since my accident. I swear to you, I was not trying to resist. I put my life in God's hand on that swear.
Okay.
I assure you, if there's any way I could prove that to you, guarantee you I would.
Okay. All right, Nolan. I'm gonna close the door real quick. Give me just 1 second. I'll come talk to you again. Yeah, I have.
Stuff, because this doesn't look 17 feet to me. Is this 17 feet?
No, that's 24 at least.
Yeah, and it comes back. FL, come back to something else. So I had to run the bend or the hit.
I'm sorry. What was your name again?
Katie.
Katie. So unfortunately, I do have to take him to jail because he grabbed me. Okay, I could look past the initial refusal to give me his ID at first, and I didn't give him 20 chances to do it. But if I tell someone to give me their ID and they say no, or what for, I understand what you're saying. He was reaching for the glove box. I don't know that that's what he's looking for. If he's telling me no, or what do you need my ID for, to me that's a no. I'm not giving it to you. Okay. The problem though is that when I tried to get him out of the car, he grabbed my hand, he pushed my hands away from him, and then I'm trying to put him in handcuffs, and he's pulling and turning away from me. Because of that, I have to take him to jail.
Is there any way
I have to take him to jail?
Is there any way you could have the mercy in you to view it like someone with autism? You know that an autistic person would do something similar when someone's grabbing them. It's like an instinctive response
If his mental capacity is so diminished that he doesn't know not to put his hands on a police officer, he should not have a driver's license. Okay, so either he is more mentally incapacitated than the state of whatever state his driver's license is out of knows, or he's more intelligent than you're leading me to believe. Because either way, he's driving a car, so he's got to have at least like an 80 IQ to be able to drive a car. So if he's got that,
I'm not sure what
he should probably know not to grab a police officer.
I'm not sure what the testing was that they did. They went through a neuropsychologist, neuropsychiatrist, full driving tests, like more than just the driving test that a teenager goes through to get their permit. And he was approved through that. But of course, in a class like that, it's not going to be a situation where an officer's trying to grab him out of the car. So it's a different thing to be in the moment. And like I said, view it like a person with autism. Like their initial response is to be like, someone's grabbing me, oh my God, let go. So if there's any chance you could please have the
I just talked to my sergeant. My sergeant said to take him to jail because he touched me.
And listen, at the same time, I understand your perspective, but you also have to understand his perspective. But also with this instance, if he goes to jail, you also have the ability to go to court and argue that side of it. I understand that, ma'am. But we still have to do our job. The incident occurred. Also, I have another issue with the boat.
That hurts.
The registration for the vessel isn't coming back with the same thing as an in, so I was wondering if I could see the paperwork for that. Yeah, so the registration.
Did you run her?
Yeah, I added it to the call.
Okay.
We're gonna run her.
It didn't come back to the same type of vessel as the him.
Nolan's traumatic brain injury, which impairs his ability to process and respond to stressful situations, was callously ignored by Deputy Lane. The Americans with Disabilities Act mandates that law enforcement make reasonable modifications in policies, practices, or procedures to accommodate disabilities. Lane's refusal to consider Nolan's condition, even after Catherine's explanation, shows a blatant disregard for legal protections. Instead of adjusting his approach, Lane insisted on compliance, equating Nolan's involuntary reactions to felony battery. This reflects a systemic issue where officers prioritize protocol over humanity, abusing their authority by failing to adapt to special needs.
Okay.
We're gonna run her.
It didn't come back to the same type of vessel as the him.
Catherine, here's your ID. Look, I understand. I have to take him to jail, okay, Catherine? That ship has sailed. I have to take him. I understand. This is hard. I don't want to take someone to jail with a mental disability. But at the same time, if he's driving a car and I pull him over for a traffic violation, going 10 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone is a traffic violation. He can't do that. That's why I pulled him over. When I tell the driver of a vehicle on a traffic stop to give me his driver's license, he has to give it to me. If I tell him to step out of the If I tell someone to step out of the vehicle under Pennsylvania versus Mims, they have to step out of the vehicle. If they refuse, that is obstruction.
I understand all of that, and I understand from your perspective, you have to protect yourself to get home to your own family and all of that. Trust me, I wish he didn't have a brain injury. I wish he didn't have those moments where he doesn't.
And I'm very sorry that your family has to deal with that, Catherine.
But please, because this is something that's like, you're basically putting me in jail too.
I'm not putting you in jail. You're still here. You can take the car and the boat, go back to your campsite. You can get him out tomorrow. We'll have first. You can. Look, there's ways in the court. If he's actually got a brain injury, you could.
I'm like a promise and just ask what he is.
Catherine, are you able to drive this back to your campsite?
Probably not.
Okay, because the other thing we'd have to do is call a tow truck.
I can probably get someone here in the park, one of our friends here.
Yeah, this guy right here, I don't know if you know him, but why was he going so slow?
Because we drove from here, we were headed to Marathon to get gas in the boat, and as we were driving down the road, he realized that the trailer was like bouncing too much, and he didn't feel safe driving it, so he pulled over at that gas station. Go ahead.
That's his items I was giving to you.
He pulled over at that gas station by the RV park, and he just wanted to be able to use their marina real quick to scoot the boat further forward on the trailer. And one person told us, no, it's a liability reason to use it. So he tried like kind of brake checking the boat to scoot it forward. He tried cranking it with everything he could to get it forward, and he felt nervous to get on the road with it. And then he went in and talked to the management, and they were just trying to explain to him that it was liability. He said that he would be happy to pay as a guest in order to be able to use the boat ramp. And they were trying to, tell him there were boat ramps a mile up one direction and a couple miles back the other direction. And so then they had called for an escort to bring him back here, and he was just stressed and flustered and just kind of decided to get on the road and try to go slow coming back here. Because
when I was heading up there, I saw you guys. You probably saw me pass you when you were heading south. Sure. And then when I pulled in there, the manager there said that he was not very nice to them, that he flicked them off, and that he was very rude.
Yeah, he just got extremely stressed and worried about driving the boat, and he was frustrated that he couldn't just use the ramp to scoot the boat forward. And I tried apologizing to the management there and explaining, that he has a brain injury, so normal things that would stress anyone amplify with him, or more stressful for him. And when we saw you pull off here, we kind of thought maybe you were helping escort us the rest of the way to the boat ramp, which is why I didn't pull off initially and stop to talk to you.
Yeah, I just couldn't pull you guys over on US 1 because of the construction site, and he started that turn, so I didn't want to try to stop him in the middle of the road when there was cars coming, so I waited until you guys were in here to pull him over. I wouldn't have even given him a ticket. I was just going to tell him that he was driving slow and he can't drive that slow on US 1.
Right.
And all I needed was his driver's license.
Is there any way you can modify the report where he was falling out of the vehicle and he grabbed you to brace himself, not grabbing
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna perjure myself for someone I don't know. I'm gonna watch my body camera and the in-car camera, and I'm gonna go word for word and action for action when I write the report. I will document in there how you're telling me he had a brain injury. What was that caused by?
A motorcycle accident. We were heading to dinner one night in a vehicle from another direction, took a left-hand turn in front of us. He actually wasn't supposed to even live, and then they weren't sure if he was going to be paralyzed or what sort of function he was going to have. And he's made amazing progress, but there's still, there's deficits. Just like if you lost a limb, there's things that are difficult. He lost a chunk of his brain, so certain things are difficult. Am I able to give him his anxiety medicine before he goes?
They have all the medicine down there. As long as he knows the name of it, they'll be able to supply it to him.
He's not going to know the names. Can I give you like a list or something? Can I write?
Yeah, I can take a picture of it.
Despite Catherine's pleas to view Nolan's actions through the lens of his disability, Deputy Lane insisted on arresting him, citing a felony for touching his hand. Florida Statute 784.072b defines battery on a law enforcement officer as intentionally touching or striking an officer. But Nolan's actions were not intentional aggression. Lane's refusal to amend his report or show leniency, even after learning of Nolan's condition, underscores a corrupt adherence to power over justice. His claim that Nolan's mental capacity should preclude driving dismisses medical evaluations that approved Nolan's license. This rigid stance reveals how officers can manipulate narratives to justify arrests, ignoring mitigating factors. By prioritizing punishment over mercy, Lane's actions highlight a troubling trend where corrupt officers abuse their authority, disregarding disability and context to enforce compliance, leaving families like Nolan's to navigate the legal system's fallout without recourse or compassion. Like and subscribe for more police cam stories. Watch the next recommended video. Click to watch now.